Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. EndSars protest has come and gone, but right now federal government and also some private individuals are out to hunt those whom they describe as being promoters of the EndSars protest. Some days ago, we brought the news to you about one human rights activist. That's what he claimed. One Kenechukwu Okeke, who came up with a court order or a suit against 50 persons. According to him, he said they are actually the promoters of EndSars, and that the end product of the protest has resulted to huge losses both for private individual and also to the government. And he was suing those 50 persons. But right now, the news is that the case has started, and the court is giving the police a timeline to probe all those whose name had appeared on the list. Quite shocking. A lot of reactions right now. The magistrate court in Abuja on Friday ordered the police to investigate 50 EndSars protesters. They are accused of playing active roles in the agitation. They include Aisha Yusuf, David Adeleke, that's Davido, Ayodeji Balogun, that's Wizkid, Deji Adeyanju, Sam Adeyemi, Ayo Sogunro, Tiwa Savage, Debo Awojide, Folarin Falana Fals, Modupe Odele Moore, Foyekemi Abudu FK, Michael Ajare, that's Don Jazzy, Peter Okoye, Paul Okoye, that's the P Square, Redu Odwala, Innocent Dibia, that's two first, Kanu Wankwo, Joe Abba, Kiki Modi, Togbe Akinyode, Adebola Williams, Yol Edoche, Bankole Wellington, that's Banky W. Also on the list are Oseyi Etomi, Jola Ayeye, Jafet Omojuwa, Pamilerin Adegoke, Kelvin Odens, Adekunle Temitope, Layo Ogumbawo, Ayodele Makun, that this guy, this comedian, Uche Jumbo, Yemi Alade, Ojabodu, Ademola. Those are the names, and other names are also inclusive. The order to investigate the protesters was given by the Chief Magistrate Omolola Akindele of the Wose Zone 6 of the Magistrate Court. Akindele gave the police 2 weeks to conclude their investigation so the trial of the case would commence. And guess what? This has triggered a lot of reactions from Nigerians because considering where we are coming from and what had happened thus far in this country, judiciary has a way of delaying cases. All of a sudden, they are even giving a very short timeline for the investigation of those involved in the EndSars promotion. Nigerians have reacted, and we just want to look at some of the reactions of Nigerians before we go into further analysis. And this one says here, why do they not probe government for hoarding palliative? Exactly. And this one says there's fire on the mountain. Nigerian government, they are heartless, either good or bad, nothing concerns them. But remember that 6 feet is waiting for you people. This one said here, say exactly what a particular university in Nigeria did to their SUG. They sanctioned the body for protesting so as to put fear in the student, never to protest. We know the game. This one said, did we have lawyers? Do we have lawyers in this country? Lawyers that cannot bring the major criminals and looters of this country to book because they have used money to blindfold their eyes. Now is only innocent people you want to face, right? Your own and your entire generation would be worst. This one says, we have a weak judicial system. They neglect the rule of law and created their own rules. Nemesis will catch up with every one of you. I guess it's been long Nigerian fought civil war headed by General Yakubu Gowon, 6th of July 1967 to 15th of January 1970. I think that the way we can liberate ourselves from these wicked elites and evil leaders, hence no freedom of speech, no right to peaceful protest, Their plan is to clone us. Wow, please, it shouldn't result to issue of civil war, because most people who are talking about civil war have never tested war before. And this one says, "Good morning, living souls. I will appreciate anything that you can do to change this current situation that we have found ourselves." That one say, "Probe them for what? We have turned this whole thing into a comedy. From the side of one mouth, government says it's attending to the request of youth, while from the other side of their mouth, hunting youth down for even daring peaceful protests. Why can't we just, for once, get serious?" And this one says, "See, our judiciary is in a mess. Why is it that our government use judiciary to do cover up for their dirty runs? Everything they say, court order. These people don't leave their job and start talking our probe. Buhari should be the one to probe, not the innocent youths." And the last one I'm going to consider here says, "An attack on these people is an attack on the youth and Nigeria. If you hurt them, you hurt the youth of Nigeria." A lot of reactions from different quarters. But first of all, let's just look at this. What actually were they funding, or what were they instigating? Peaceful protests. We can't continue in the way we have been. We cannot continue living the way we had always been. We want to change in our government, and you want to prosecute them for what? You want to probe them, their involvement in the protest, if they have funded it or what? I'm telling you the truth that some of these things that are happening is an eye opener. And I strongly believe that come 2023, youth of this country will shock the elites. I tell you the truth. The youth of this country, based on what has happened thus far, the youth of this country will give the elite the shocker of a lifetime, that they themselves will be marvel at what will happen. Because you cannot tell me that these people have done anything wrong. They said protests, peaceful protests were ongoing, and all of a sudden, hoodlums came in. Nobody knew how the hoodlum came in, because as much as Nigerians know, or the protesters know, they were not the one that invited the hoodlum, because the hoodlum, to prove to you that they were not invited by the protesters, started up with fighting the protesters. The protesters resisted it. There was no intervention from the security, and before we know, the people started misbehaving. The hoodlums started misbehaving, and before you know, the whole country was caught in a mess. So for you to turn around and try to probe people who were not even involved, when we have series of cases that the judiciary has abandoned up till today, not just the judiciary, no, even some investigative agencies, they have cared less about it. I think that this should be what youths of Nigerians should line up as reasons why we have to step up our game in 2023, even if it means to choose a party that nobody believes, and will begin to elect the people who are the most, when we talk about commitment to voting, who are the people that do it most? The youths. Let's step out and change the writing. It's long overdue. I tell you the truth, because if we do not change it, these guys are not only going to intimidate us, they are going to do everything to shut us down. That is the truth. The judiciary, whether they are doing their job, whether they are not doing their job. But if you look at the tendencies and the timeline given, these are things that we have not seen in a long while. We have cases about politicians who that have been swept under the carpet and forgotten about. We have cases that nobody even cares to look at it. But look at how serious they are taking this case. And then someone will come around and be telling us that we are under the leadership of a father. You want to shut this guy, but guess what? I know that this is a step of intimidation, because if you shut down these guys, the whole world will be involved in it. And I tell you the truth that you'll be shocked what youths will do, because it's not that I'm trying to I know anything, but I know that the youths, some of them are strong fans of some of these people that you have made mention of, and they don't mind hitting the street and doing the unthinkable. Let's be wise at this point. Already the country is in a deep valley that right now we are yearning for it to be rescued. The level of hardship is beyond human reasoning. I'm telling you the truth. The level of hardship. So don't try to put salt in a wound that they're trying to pamper for it to heal. 170 naira. Nobody cares to talk about that. The judiciary is not saying anything about that. 170 naira, 72 naira for fuel. Talk of rice, it's hitting about 43,000 naira. Talk of other things. Life is becoming so difficult and turbulent for Nigerians, and you're recommending this. A shocker is going to come very soon. Let's be wise because, as at this point, wisdom is profitable to direct. Some persons need to say, hey, don't go that far because if you go that far, the youths will react. But if you refuse to hearken to the voice of wisdom, whatever we will see in the nearest future, please let's not complain. Let's take